Welcome to Management Consulted. I'm Jenny Ray, the Managing Director, and today I'm going to be talking about whether or not consulting is right for you with a specific focus on the education aspect of your background. This is part one of a two-part series. And our key focus today is on the educational segment. We have four key areas that we're going to walk through. And basically, when a consulting firm looks at education, it's of paramount importance, especially at the McKinsey, Bains, and BCGs of the world. You won't find people who went to non-brand name universities. There's a little bit of latitude on exactly where you went from, but in general, they're looking for a core skill set. Why? Well, the number one factor that the firms are looking for is pedigree. They want to understand that you were trained by and alongside the best minds on the planet. And they will generally have a choice of the schools that they target in any particular geography. The pedigree of the school that you went to indicates that you were competitive at getting into the school, also indicates that you surrounded yourself with competitive people. And as you see, as I go through some of the other factors, the baseline of the pedigree is really important. It doesn't mean that smart people don't hang out in other places. It just means that in general, pre-consultants are likely to congregate at some of these schools. So a firm is able to reap 80% or more of their base efforts out of the consulting recruiting process at some of these top firms, whereas the 20% may come from referrals or experienced hires or other places. However, still the baseline usually ends up being that they share a common pedigree with everyone else. The second factor is the relevance of your degree. And here I'm talking about both undergrad and grad degrees. Now, I've talked about different types of firms, so there are some specific differences in the types of degrees that you might have gotten. But in general, firms are looking for one key factor. Was your degree quantitative? Did you demonstrate the ability to think about problems in a quantitative way, to break them down into structured subsets, and to answer questions that have a quantitative nature to them? So the most relevant type of degree would be, for example, a degree in finance or accounting, or maybe even better would be something a little bit general, qualitative like economics. However, there'll also be engineers, there will be statisticians, there will be people from many different walks that will be in your incoming class. On the other hand, at the graduate level, they're also interested in seeing specific expertise that's conveyed through your application. So sometimes you still need to demonstrate that quantitative nature, but your expertise can be a part of your specific degree program. The third thing that they look for is performance. So along with this pedigree and the relevance of your degree that you're doing, they're looking to see that you can perform well. Are you a top performer indicated by GPA, which usually at the top firms is somewhere above a 3.7. At almost all of the firms, a 3.5 is a pretty clear cutoff. And there needs to be some pretty strong networking to overcome a low GPA. In addition, you have not only your GPA or your indication of marks, which again in the US 3.7, internationally firsts almost across the board. They're also looking for honors. So were you indicated as a departmental honor? Were you indicated as somebody who won a scholarship? Did you do a case competition or another competition where you were a winner? They want to see your success, again, in competitive environments wherever possible. And then finally, the fourth aspect of education is leadership. The companies are interested in seeing not only were you excellent in the classroom, but also how did you do outside the classroom. They're not looking for the high school brand of leadership. They're not looking for activities. They're looking for places where you managed people, budgets, and processes. So it's important to demonstrate one or two leadership experiences, even more than demonstrating that you were involved in 10 activities across the board. It's really critical that your education tells a story that says, I'm capable of doing this job. I'm able to compete in a very competitive environment. I'm able to work with people, manage and lead people, and I'm also able to cut it when it comes to quantitative factors. If for some reason your degree or your education institution doesn't fit into one of these common parameters, there are some things that you can do. First, you can consider applying to a firm where you are a target and then taking a parallel path into one of the top firms. Second, you can consider focusing on a graduate program such as an MBA. MBAs are competitive to get into, but they're excellent training grounds and also breeding grounds for pre-consultants. And finally, if you've already done maybe multiple degrees, or if you're just not interested or don't think you're qualified for an MBA, there are excellent programs like Masters in Management programs or Executive MBAs or similar even seminar programs at some of the Ivy League schools and top international schools that can qualify you to become a feeder pool for consulting. So, in summary, your education is of critical importance no matter how near or far you are to the consulting process, but there are ways that you can look to portray your experience in a way that really demonstrates what you're capable of. You're also able to do some things in terms of long-term next steps that can really affect your chances for consulting. Thanks for joining us. If you have further questions, we have lots of content on this matter on our website at managementconsulted.com.